Hello, everyone. Let us continue our discussion. In my earlier session, I had discussed the importance of LLP and why will someone choose LLP over other forms of business like partnership, company. In today's session, we are going to discuss definitions. I have prepared charts for you. These are my handwritten notes. We will first study the concept from my handwritten notes. We will read that from our textbook. We will do this for every definition. Okay, so we will go definition wise. These handwritten notes will help you to learn the definition word by word. See, you cannot write definitions in your own words. So you need to know the technical words, and as far as possible, write the definition as it is. So these handwritten notes will help you to write the definition as word by word as it is given in the Bare Act. So let us discuss our first definition, address. Now, whose address are we talking about? Address of partners, LLP, address of creditors, address of suppliers, daters. Whose address are we talking about? They have started the definition by mentioning that the address which they are defining is in relation to partner of LLP. So we are not discussing the address of LLP. We are not discussing the address of its customers or suppliers. We are defining what exactly is address of a partner. So I think this is very relevant. It is very important that we first give the context in which the definition is given. So address means in relation to a partner of LLP. Now a partner can be either an individual or a body corporate. So even a body corporate, an artificial person can be the partner. So in case an individual is a partner, the usual residential address of that individual is considered to be address. Now, what is the meaning of usual residential address? Now, there's a partner and he has three houses in Mumbai itself. Now, you cannot write the address of all three houses. So, which house does he usually reside in? So, you will definitely be having out of those three houses one permanent place of residence. So, where does he usually reside? Maybe he stays 9 months in one house and 3 months in some other house. But where does he usually reside? That will be considered as address of partner. So, if I'm talking about an individual partner, then what is his usual residential address? That will be mentioned here. But what if your partner is a body corporate? It's an artificial person. Then address of its registered office. Students, these handwritten notes have made your life very easy. I have simplified the definitions for you. Now, when you read it from the textbook, you will be able to understand it better. Address in relation to a partner of LLP. So, we are discussing this definition in relation to partner of LLP. If the partner is an individual, all right, partner is an individual, then his usual residential address will be considered as his address. If we are talking about a body corporate, the address of its registered office is considered as the address. Now, why is it important? Why do we need to define address? See, we want to maintain a record of the partners. What if we need to communicate with them? What if certain notices are to be sent to the partners? So we need to know their address. While registering, you need to provide your address proof also. So what is this address that we are expecting from the partner? It will be his usual residential address if it's an individual, or registered office address in case of body corporate. So please pause the video and write this in your notebook. Done. All right. The next definition that we are going to discuss is that of a body corporate. Yes, we have studied this in detail when we were studying the Companies Act. But let us also discuss this from the point of view of company. As far as a layman is concerned, okay, someone who doesn't have knowledge of law, for a layman, body corporate generally means an artificial person or an entity having separate legal status, or a person having separate legal status or identity in the eyes of law. So for a layman, the meaning of body corporate is an artificial person or a person having separate legal entity, separate legal existence, identity in the eyes of law. Basically, corporate means a separate person who is clothed with legal personality. Okay, so it's an artificial person which is separate and distinct from the members. Body corporate, it means a company as defined under Section 2, Clause 20 of the Companies Act 2030. Now, why have I highlighted the word means? The word means indicates that they are trying to explain the meaning of body corporate. So, the word means indicates that they are expressing the meaning. They are giving a very exact meaning, explanation of a body corporate. So this exact, they are trying to mention what it actually means. So means is a word when we use to define a particular term properly. So it means a company as defined in Section 2, Clause 20 of the Companies Act 2013. So we discussed this definition given under Section 2, Clause 20 of the Companies Act. It is a body corporate, but it also includes, okay, so this is an inclusive definition, it's quite exhaustive. It includes a company incorporated outside India. So can I say that a company incorporated in India as well as outside India is a body corporate? We are not defining a company, we are defining a body corporate, which is a wider term than company. So, a body corporate simply means an artificial person having separate legal identity in the eyes of law. So, company is a body corporate. Body corporate is actually a very wide term. Body corporate means a company incorporated in India. It also includes a company incorporated outside India. But, ma'am, company incorporated outside India is not doing business in India. It doesn't matter. It is a body corporate, it is an artificial person having separate legal status. We are not defining a foreign LLP. Foreign LLP means it is incorporated outside India but doing business in India. Domestic LLP is incorporated in India and doing business in India. We are not defining domestic or foreign LLP. We are only defining a body corporate. So it may be a company incorporated in India or outside India. It includes LLP registered under this act, that is LLP registered in India as well as LLP incorporated outside India. They could have easily mentioned LLP incorporated in India, but instead they wrote LLP registered under this act. So that is how I have also written. Body corporate means a company defined in Section 2, Clause 20 of the Companies Act. It includes company incorporated outside India, LLP incorporated in India as well as outside India. So these four things are included in body corporate, but it does not include. It does not include a corporation sole. Now, what is the meaning of corporation sole? I have a proper definition for you. You can write it later. Corporation sole is a legal entity, separate, distinct, consisting of just a single or sole incorporated office occupied by a single sole natural person. Natural means living person, can be a man or a woman. So it's a single office, like the president's office, which is occupied by a single person, that is the president. It means CAG, Corporate and Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG. It is one single incorporated office consisting of one sole natural person. It has legal continuity. Yes, the office continues. It is occupied by a natural person at any given point of time. That person may change, but the office continues. Postmaster General, Public Trustee, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, President of India, the Crown in England, the King's Office. It is a corporation sole. Corporation having a legal entity, legal continuity. Sole means managed by single person. It does not include corporation sole. All right, that is not considered as a body corporate. It does not include a cooperative society. Now, what is a cooperative society? Now, you all must be living in a housing cooperative society. It is a place where people come together for a common object like living together. That is why it's a housing cooperative society. So basically, cooperative is an association of people, let me write, association with common objects. So people who believe in those objects, okay, they all come together. So it's an association for common object. You can also write common purpose. Okay. Now, housing cooperative society, they have one purpose: to stay together. You may have a cooperative society for protection of the environment. You may have a cooperative society or a cooperative for financing new businesses. So, cooperative basically means it's an association for a common purpose, for a common object. In UK, when I had visited, there was a chain of departmental stores in the name of Co-op. Co-op. Coop, they would also call it Coop. Now, this is owned by the members and it is run, okay, managed for the benefit of members. So members may be these farmers who are, staying in the nearby area. Their produce is sold. They are given a fair price. So they are coming together for the objective of giving a fair price to people, making them members and working for their benefit. So that is a co-op. Okay. So cooperative, it is association for common object. It is not included over here. Any other body corporate as the central government may by notification in the official gazette specify. So the central government has been given an authority to specify any other body corporate which will be excluded from the definition of body corporate for LLP. So any other body corporate other than company, because company is considered to be a body corporate here. So any body corporate other than the company or LLP as defined under this act will not be considered as body corporate. So central government may by notification in the official gazette specify that this entity will not be considered as a body corporate and it will be excluded from the definition. So students, this was the meaning of body corporate. Quickly pause the video, write this in your notebook, and then we will read from the textbook also. Okay, done. Continue writing. Excellent. Body corporate means a company as defined in section 2 clause 20 of the Companies Act 2013. It includes, so see, these keywords were highlighted in my notes. It includes LLP registered under this act, LLP incorporated outside India, company incorporated outside India. So company incorporated in India, company incorporated in India, company incorporated outside India, LLP incorporated in India, outside India, they are all considered as body corporate. It, however, does not include corporation sole, cooperative society registered under any law for the time being in force, any other body corporate other than company defined in this section 20, 2 clause 20, or LLP. Okay, other than those, central government has been given an authority to specify by notification in the official gazette one body, whatever entity that you will not consider as a body corporate. Exactly the same definition was covered in my handwritten notes. Yes. Next, let us discuss the definition of business. Are these section numbers important? Yes, but you must have noticed I never stress too much on section numbers because I feel that it is important for you to know the provisions. Your concepts should be very strong, your conceptual knowledge should be very deep so that you are able to solve any question. Section numbers is just by hearting. Yes. So, yes, if you can learn it on your own. Otherwise, even if you feel that no, ma'am, it is not possible for me to learn, I don't think that any marks will be deducted for that. So, conceptually, you should be very strong. Business. Business includes every trade, profession, service, occupation. See, the word profession, if used separately, it generally indicates a non-profit business. Yes, non-profit. But profession word, when used with trade, it shows that they are talking about a profit making profession. So let's say, for example, that a doctor is working in a government office, government hospital, then that profession will not be included here. But what if that doctor has a, a, a practice with the aim of earning profit, like a cosmetic surgery that is for profit making only? So that will be considered as business. So here only those professions will be included where your aim is to make profit. But the business will not include any activity which central government may by notification exclude. So central government has been given the power, it has been given the authority to exclude certain activities from business. So we are not excluding trade, we are excluding certain activities. Like this particular activity will not be considered as business. So central government has been given the authority to exclude any activity from the definition of business. So business includes every trade, profession, service, occupation. But it does not include activities which central government has by notification excluded. Very small definition, not so very important also for exam. Let us now read it from the textbook. Business includes every trade, profession, service, occupation, except any activity which the central government may by notification exclude. The central government has been given the authority to exclude certain activities from the definition of. Next, let us discuss who is a designated partner. Now, we know that we need minimum two partners. Okay, we need two partners to form an LLP. Maximum, there's no limit to the number of partners. Okay, so minimum we need two partners. Maximum, there's no limit to the number of partners. So we can have any number of partners, right? Imagine that there are 300 partners in LLP. ROC needs to communicate, or ROC has a complaint against the LLP, or ROC wants the LLP to file certain documents. So ROC went to one of the partners. He said, no, I'm not in charge. Other person is in charge because liabilities joined several. No, I am not in charge. Other person is in charge. He is no liability not joined several, but there are so many partners, no, so we can always hold someone else liable. So he says, no, it is not my responsibility. It's the other person's responsibility. It's the other person. So ROC ended up going to 300 partners, and each partner passed the blame on the other partner. So ROCs don't have time for all this. They want you to designate a person who will manage all the compliances. That person is known as a designated partner. He is not a separate partner. So from among the partners, we will choose any one partner who is in charge of compliances. So in case the ROC wants to communicate, in case there is any compliance requirement, okay, there is any compliance requirement, or we want to communicate. So designated partner is the person with whom communication will take place. We are going to discuss all this in section 7, so I'm not going into detail right now. What is the meaning of financial year? Very interesting definition. And after going through the note, you will be like, ma'am, this was the best explanation that we have heard of financial statements, because this note is excellent. It is self-explanatory in itself. What is the meaning of financial year? See, financial year can be discussed in context of a company also. It can be discussed in context of Income Tax Act. But here the financial year which we are discussing is in relation to LLP. So in relation to LLP, financial year means, okay, period from 1st day of April to 31st March of the following year. And what does it mean? It means period beginning from 1st April to 31st March of the next year. So if I talk of any financial year, okay, other than the first one, obviously, generally financial year means period beginning from first day of April till 31st March of the next year. See how I have written, okay, how I have prepared the chart from and to. They're written one below the other. So when you read when you read this note later, so period beginning from first day of April. I'll just drink water. I have a very bad throat with cold. Just give. Okay. So period beginning from 1st of April to 31st of March of the next year. Why this period? Like I am starting my financial year from 1st April 2025. My year will end on 31st March 2026. Why this period? Why can't I keep my financial year from Jan to December? My wish I can start from Feb to first Feb to 31st of March. Why is this 12 months period only considered as the financial year of the LLP? We want it to be at par, or we want to align it with the financial year of the income tax. See, if your accounts are maintained for a period which is aligned with income tax, it will be very easy for you to calculate the tax, to file the return. Otherwise, you will have to prepare the accounts separately to align it with the income tax. So we want to align it with the financial year as prescribed by income tax department. Now, income tax department has prescribed a uniform year for all the organizations. So it is to align with the financial year as prescribed uniformly. Okay, as prescribed uniformly by the income tax department. So if your accounts are also prepared for the same period as prescribed by the income tax department, it will be very easy for you to prepare your financials and pay tax. So that is why we consider the period beginning from 1st April till 31st March of the next year. However, in case of LLP incorporated after 30th September of a year, now please pay attention. What I discussed with you applies to the financial year other than the first financial year. As far as the year of incorporation is concerned, there are certain separate provisions. See, I will not incorporate the company on 1st April because my financial year starts from 1st April. I can incorporate LLP anytime that I want. So if my LLP is incorporated after 30th September, the financial year may end on 31st March of the year next following that year. Ma'am, just a minute, just a minute. What? Let's discuss this with the help of an example. An LLP is incorporated on 15th October 2025. This is after 30th September of that year, okay? So my LLP is incorporated on 15th October 2025. So ideally my year will end on 31st of March 2026. But we have given them a choice that if you don't want to end your first financial year on 31st March 26, you may end the financial year on 31st March 2027. The year, sorry, the year following that year. So can I say that my first financial year can be for a period more than 12 months? It's possible, no? Why is this option given? Imagine another situation. Imagine that your company is in, again and again I'm saying company, I'm so used to teaching companies that. Okay, let's say that your LLP is incorporated on 2nd of Jan 2026. This is after 30th September. So your LLP is incorporated on 2nd Jan 2026. If you follow the option, like I can end the financials, I can prepare the first financial accounts on 31st March 2026. But don't you think that this will be a very short period for preparation of books of accounts? Like business, I'm in business for less than 3 months. What will I write in my books of accounts? Hardly 5 to 10 transactions. So law says that for companies which are incorporated like in Jan or March, there is hardly any data. There are hardly any transactions. So you have an option to prepare the first financial, again I'm stressing on first financial accounts, okay, because this is applicable only in the period of incorporation. The company is incorporated and you want to prepare the first financial, so you can prepare up to 31st March 2027. Again, this is not compulsory, it's just optional, because we want to consider different scenarios. In this scenario, I am in business for 6 months, I have many transactions for 6 months, I would like to end my first financial year on 31st March 2026. I'll prepare accounts for just 6 months. But if another scenario where LLP is in operation for like hardly 3 months, they may want to prepare their financials up to 31st March 2027. But under no circumstance can my first financial year be more than 18 months. Now, let's say that the benchmark is 30th September. Yes, the benchmark which they have given, your company is your LLP is incorporated after 30th September. So my benchmark is 30th September. Let's say that my LLP is incorporated on 1st October 2025. The first financial year may end. I'm using the word may because it is not compulsory. It may end on 31st March 2026. But because it is not compulsory, I don't want to prepare financials for just 6 months. Don't worry. Law is allowing you to end your first financial year on 31st March 2027. So you will prepare the financials for 31st up to 31st March 2027. So can I say that I'm adding another 12 months? So 6 months from the date of incorporation till 31st March of the following year, and 12 months from 1st April till next. Now, can I say that the first financials are prepared for 18 months? Assuming that the company, the LLP is incorporated on 1st October. What if the LLP is incorporated on 2nd of Jan? So it will be from 2nd Jan till 31st, which is a very small period of 3 months. So 3 months here, 12 months there. So it will be prepared for 15 months. Under no circumstance can I prepare it for more than 18 months. I cannot say, I don't want to prepare the first financials for this period also. Let me end my year on 31st March 28. That's not possible. That's not possible. LLP can always maintain its first financial accounts from, let's say, in my example, 15th October till 31st March 2026. Yes, I have an option to prepare for like just 6 months. It's for a period of 12 months, but that's okay. But under no circumstance can the period for which the first accounts are prepared can exceed 18 months. Okay? Under no circumstance can the period for which the first accounts of LLP are prepared can exceed 18 months. I have a few questions for you. Then after this, I will give you time to copy. What if the LLP is incorporated on 7th June 2025? Can you tell me what will be the date on which the first financial year ends? 31st March 2026. What if the firm that is LLP is incorporated on 30th September? Then also the first year will end on 31st March 2026. Okay, because it is on 30th September. What if the LLP is incorporated on 1st October 2025? Yes, then your year may end on 31st March 2026 or 2027. It's your choice. Can it end in 31st March 2028? 2028? No. Period will be more than 18 months. What if my LLP is incorporated on 1st January 2026? It can end either on 31st March 2026 or 2027, but mostly the LLPs will choose to prepare their accounts till 31st March 2027 because they will not want to prepare accounts for just 3 months. Ideally, they will go for 27. So this is all about financial year. Now you can take down notes. That cold. Continue writing. Done. Okay, let's read. Everything is covered. I don't think I need to read. All the key points are covered in my notes. Foreign LLP. What is a foreign LLP? See, foreign LLP very similar to a foreign company. It means LLP which is formed, incorporated, registered outside India. It is formed, incorporated, registered outside India, but it has a place of business in India. So for that Indian business, Indian laws will apply. Can a foreign LLP become a partner of Indian LLP? It's a it's a body corporate, no? Incorporated outside India, it's a body corporate capable of contracting. And LLP is the result of a contract. Yes, foreign LLP can become a partner of Indian LLP. Now, I'll give you a few scenarios. You tell me whether this is a foreign LLP or not, okay? So, foreign LLP means it is incorporated outside India but having a place of business in India. I have an LLP which is incorporated in India and the place of business is in Mumbai. Is it a foreign LLP? No. Foreign LLP must be incorporated outside India and having business in India. It is incorporated in UK and having place of business in USA. Is it a foreign LLP? No. It is incorporated in France and having place in Mumbai. Is it foreign LLP? Yes. So what is a foreign LLP? You can write all this. It means LLP formed, incorporated, registered outside India and having place of business in India. Let us read. Foreign LLP means LLP which is formed, incorporated, registered outside India, but which has an established place of business in India. Foreign LLP can become partner of Indian LLP. Next, let us discuss the LLP agreement. What is an LLP agreement? Agreement between the partners or partners and LLP. Can it be oral or it has to be in writing? Act wants it to be in writing only. So LLP agreement, see, partnership is always a result of an agreement. If you have your own agreement, very good, you can follow that. But if you don't have an LLP agreement, first schedule will apply. First schedule. What is LLP agreement? It has to be in writing. See, in partnership, oral agreement was valid. But here the LLP agreement must be in writing only. Okay. So LLP agreement between the partners of LLP, like X, Y, Z, they are partners. They have entered into an agreement. This can be considered as LLP agreement. Or the agreement is between partners and LLP. See, LLP is a separate person in the eyes of law capable of contracting. Okay, so this is a separate person capable of contracting. So it can be, yeah, it can be, yeah, it is capable of entering into agreement. So yes, partners and LLP can also enter into an agreement. If yes, then this is partnership agreement. So agreement between the partners or partners and LLP. Now what is written in this agreement? We discussed it in the last lecture. It determines the mutual rights and duties of the partners. So partners, this agreement will mention your rights and duties. Also the duties in relation to LLP. So your duty in relation to LLP because you are running the LLP. You are entering into contracts on behalf of LLP. So what is your duty in relation to LLP? So their mutual rights, okay, mutual means aapas mein. Mutual rights between them, and also their duties with respect to LLP. There's a difference. Mutual rights and duties. Mutual, it intersect, okay, among themselves, their rights and duties, and their duties towards LLP. I don't have an agreement. First schedule will apply. Write this. Write this. Done. Okay. So LLP agreement is written agreement. So this is the key word. This is the key requirement. It has to be in writing. Between the partners of the LLP. Okay. So it is either between the partners of LLP, or it is between LLP and its partners. So between the partners or partners and LLP. It determines, okay, it determines the mutual rights and duties of partners or their rights and duties in relation to LLP. You can include the word rights here. You can include the word rights. Okay. The first schedule will apply for matters not covered by the agreement. Next, we have the definition of name. Okay, name. Just to give you one extra provision, if you don't have an agreement, first schedule will apply. If your agreement is not covering a certain provision, first schedule will apply. Okay. Name. So name in relation to partner of LLP. So whose name are we discussing? LLP's name or the partner's name? Partner's name. If we talk of an individual, his forename means first name, middle name, surname. So if name of the person is Sunil Vijay Grover. So Sunil is the forename, that is the first name. Vijay is the middle name, and Grover is the surname. What about a body corporate? The registered name. Partner is someone who becomes a partner in accordance with the LLP agreement. This we are going to discuss later in the next video. Who is ROC? Registrar. So registrar means appointed by the central government as either the registrar, additional registrar, joint registrar, deputy registrar, assistant registrar for the purpose of this act, or Companies Act, as the case may be. So if you are a registered appointed under this act or under the Companies Act, you are considered as the registrar. He is basically in charge, he's the administrative authority, basically in charge with incorporation of LLP, running of the existing LLPs. Not very important definition for exam. Small LLP, very important, along with the section number. Now, very similar to small company. Yes, very similar to a small company. We want to give benefits to a small LLP. So we have classified an LLP as small on the basis of capital contribution and turnover. So if your contribution is either less than or equal to 25 lakhs, or maybe a higher amount as may be prescribed. See, whatever you prescribe later, don't exceed 5 crores. So later they can increase the scope of small LLP by saying, all right, If your contribution is less than 1 crore, you are a small LLP. Okay, so we can prescribe a higher limit by notification, but whatever you prescribe, it should not be more than 5 crores. Because if it is exceeding 5 crores, you're no longer a small LLP. And this is a dual requirement. And your turnover, as per the statement of accounts and solvency for the immediately preceding financial year, should be less than or equal to 40 lakhs or a higher amount not exceeding 50 crores as may be prescribed. Whatever higher amount you prescribe later, don't go beyond 50 crores. So from 40 lakhs, we still have the power to increase it to 50 crore rupees. When we increase the limits, we are extending this benefit to more and more LLPs. So if you want to give this benefit to more LLPs, like see, small LLP will in the future have certain relaxations, they will have certain exemptions. So that benefit, if you want to extend it to many, then you will increase the limit. But as of now, it is 25 lakhs and 40 lakhs. So same logic as that of a small company. You need to learn this. They may also prescribe such other requirements later. But as of now, this is the only information that we have. And with this, students, we come to an end of our discussion on the definitions. I hope everything was clear. We could finish this in a record time very smoothly because of these handwritten notes. I hope you took notes while watching the lecture. Yes. You also write the definition of small company. This note will help you to memorize the definition. In my next session, I will discuss partners and designated partners with you. So I'll see you there.